Thank you so much. And now we have our final panel, but one that is surely interesting enough. We bring you the panel from idea to generating an impact, success stories in advancing innovative cyber solutions. This conversation will take us behind the scenes of the most successful entrepreneurial stories in cybersecurity. It will show how ideas, when nurtured with vision, investment and collaboration, can become impactful solutions with global relevance. Once again, we welcome a moderator, Luca Tagliaretti. Thank you so much. And he will be joined by Hristian DASKALOV, partner at Gapminder VC Fund and co-founder of TechCelerator. Hristian DASKALOV, coordinator of the Digital Innovation Hub Trakia in Bulgaria. Cătălina DODU, board member of ANIS. Ovidiu NEGHINA, account executive cybersecurity at CISCO Romania și Moldova. Andrei, regional director for government affairs and strategic accounts at Bitdefender.
My colleague from Romania.
Okay. Don't confuse me, just sit on the right place. Okay, so let's start. Are we all set? Very good. We miss someone, I guess?
Yes, Hristian.
Yes. Is Hristian in the room? No. So I guess we'll, yeah, please move close to me. So I think, first of all, great that you stayed. This is going to be the best panel of the day because finally, and for those who stay, I mean, you are really interested in success. So I'm really happy that we have this panel today because we talk a lot about how making cybersecurity efficient. We talk a lot about theory. I'd like to know from you today some real success story. I mean, we need to share with the public today something useful coming from your experience. So I'm very happy that we have this opportunity. The title is From Creating Impact Success Stories. So I'd like to start maybe one question to share. If you could tell me one example of something that was like a turning point for you, from an idea to an implementation to a marketable product. And I mean, this is really what we need to see from you today. So maybe I'll start with you. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have on the banner two Hristian DASKALOV, the Romanian and the Bulgarian. The Bulgarian is here, it's sufficient. And what I can say without in advance organizing this with Luca, with the center, is that the support of the European Commission and the European Cybersecurity Competence Center in our case was vital to launch our, because we're a service-oriented organization, to launch our services on the market and our cybersecurity products these days after the project phase was completed. I would simply want to emphasize how important this is to look for opportunities for private investments and public, because the principles are the same. In Bulgaria, people are very skeptic. They believe that the European funding is only for selected ones. It doesn't matter, you know, they would waste time to apply, and then if they win a grant, it would be too hard the process and too lengthy the procedure. So they just reject opportunities. When I say they, entrepreneurs, not only cybersecurity, not only technology, entrepreneurs in general. But the truth is that it doesn't matter if it's public or private funding, the scrutiny from the investor is always big. Investors want the key performance indicators to be reached. They want to push you to bring the product on the market, the service on the market before it's ready. They want to see the outcome. At the end of the day, really, what I've seen from public and private investments alike is that it's equally important and useful. And in our case, we're happy to have the support of the European Commission.
Thank you, Cătălina. For you, we're a different art now than before. Tell us a little bit about also what ANIS is doing, maybe it's an opportunity, and then if we go back on a success story that you want to share.
Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, I'm here as a board member of ANIS. It's what we call patronat in Romania, so it's shareholder association, and we represent companies in IT services. And since several years already, we managed to have a dedicated task force for focusing on cybersecurity. This year, we extended this task force to defense as well, so it's cybersecurity and defense, and that shows how we evolve and how we collaborate together. We are an association with more than 160 members representing the IT sector, software and services in Romania, and really focusing and working to be the partner to support not only our members, which is our main objective, of course, but really to be the partner for institutions to collaborate in new legislation, in new initiatives, in way to innovate and to work together. We are very much involved in many projects. We signed yesterday the formal collaboration with DNSC, and this doesn't mean we are not collaborating before, but we wanted to make it in a very public way and to have this event here. And I think this is really important that as ANIS we want to position in Romania and in the Europe as representing this sector and being the partner to not only to discuss, but really to collaborate and to innovate together. And when it is about innovation, I think we have this in many members, and we see the cybersecurity industry developing in Romania quite fast, and we see in our task force companies from very small developing a product to very large, having hundreds and thousands of employees. I'm coming from corporate and I'm doing consulting and I'm doing many things, but maybe what was a very important moment for me in Romania was when I managed to convince our global management that Romania is the place where we shall build the new cybersecurity force for the company at that moment, the global cybersecurity force, and it was like starting with 15 people. And 5 years later, we are only in cybersecurity 750 people. And it's not only the number to impress, but it's also the competencies that we build it here. We build it in Romania, the portfolio management for cybersecurity services, service engineering, so people developing the new services for global companies from Romania. People that were, let's say, protecting Olympic Games. So I was responsible for Tokyo, Beijing, and Paris, but the team was doing much more before. So this is what Romania can offer, and I think this is an example of what we can do together when we put our minds at.
Thank you, Cătălina. Maybe now we move to Ovidiu. Ovidiu, the question you missed at the beginning, the question is if you could pinpoint one example of a success story from the idea, from the conception to the implementation, if you could share with the public today to help us also to see how your experience could be transferable to other people here today.
Thank you.
It's not an easy question, I understand, but we have to.
I'm trying to think to have as realistic as possible answer. So first of all, I'm working in sales in CISCO Romania. I'm covering cybersecurity sales for the last 7-8 years. And I've been working with clients and partners to, find how to match the needs of the customer with proper security solutions from CISCO. Now, your question is very good, and I'm trying to think not from a product perspective, from the marketing stories that I've heard, how CISCO developed and innovated various products worldwide. but I do have few examples where we as a sales team were quite courageous to propose and implement quite new solutions in the market. And this comes with a lot of rewards and also with some risks about resources, about capabilities and different potential roadblocks that, of course, we solved them in the end, but it's worth taking into consideration the risk when you want to innovate and bring something very new into the market. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind. On the innovation side, CISCO being a global company, we innovate both through internal resources, either through spin-offs or through R&Ds, teams that are developing new products to solve real stringent issues, or through acquisitions and partnership. That's our strategy long term. It's also public. CISCO has many investments in the different startups, both from Europe and other parts of the globe, which are public. One is, for example, Mistral, right, the AI model from Europe. That's pretty much what...
Thank you. That's very good. Thanks a lot. Andrei, over to you.
Thank you. I guess the same question.
You must have a lot of examples that you can take today.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I will try to share with you some snippets of code from Bitdefender story. I cannot say that I can identify the exact moment then we realized what to be done and shifted, let's say, to a global cybersecurity company that we are today. But 25 years ago, when we started as a consumer antivirus company. And now we are having more than 500 patents in cybersecurity, protecting millions and millions of devices all over the world. I think the most important lesson that we learned during those 25 years, and we are still learning, it's about the GTM, the go-to-market strategy. Because you cannot have the most valued product in technology-wise. You may be the best, but if you don't know how to leverage that in terms of sales, because Ovidiu says he works in sales. I'm in sales too, but everyone works in sales at some level. So we need to understand how to understand the market, because not always the best idea comes from the lab, okay, from the technical labs. It comes from the market itself. And maybe during today's panel, I will touch some points on that go-to-market strategy that we applied over the years. And hopefully we are seeing today Bitdefender as a trusted global security provider around the globe. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe a follow-up on that. So what do you think is a good time to market from like window that make a company competitive in this sector, in the cybersecurity sector?
I think in all sectors, but especially in the cybersecurity sector, the core is the people. Of course, in each industry, I think the people is the core. But you have to understand the market. And if we are referring now, we are seeing today in Europe, at least in European market, a more Europe-centric product market, okay? And it's about sovereignty and so on. If you don't understand each separate market with each separate regulations and also needs, if you don't translate your product in Italian and also in Spanish and so on, you will not succeed.
Okay, thank you. Hristian, back to you. So I like again to pose to the panel one question. So we have seen, you talk about the success story, your experience. I like to focus on the difficulties. So what makes difficult? What are the main obstacles that as an entrepreneur, as a company, as an organization, you see in being successful? I ask this because there are obviously some markets are a lot more efficient, a lot more dynamic. I want to understand from your experience, what can the regulator do? What can the government do? What can we do together to make it better for you as an entrepreneur to be successful in your business?
Yeah, what I've seen over and over again is that in the area of social enterprises, strangely for some of you, I consider cybersecurity a social enterprise, because what else is the purpose of the state, of the nation state, than to provide security and communities organized to be more secure than protecting themselves individually. So I've seen that there is a very wide gap between the underlying justified or justifiable business need and the actual market demand. For example, we invested a lot in one of our products. I mean, when I say we, I did not present myself. It's obviously written. I'm leading a digital innovation hub, one of 100 similar hubs across Europe. It is a startup by itself, providing services to SMEs across Europe. The difference is that we provide as a state aid, so free, but we get the funding and we get paid through the grant that we have been awarded. So what I've seen is our biggest investment was in a cyber range platform. We'll be organizing a laboratory, organizing a hybrid environment, and using this cyber range to test, to develop and test skills and products. This was, and it currently is, one of the lowest utilized products and services of ours, simply because there is a justifiable business need behind leveraging such platform, but in the same time the market is not there. The awareness is not understood to leverage such systems to prepare the skilled workforce that is needed to protect the different systems and applications of small, medium, even micro companies. Big companies understand the need. My recommendation for the regulator is to regulate, because often the only push for the companies to invest in such services, so to bridge the gap between the need and the market actually demand, is to make through tools such as the NIS2 framework to make companies comply. And then they decide it's about time to start investing in security and leverage such systems as our cyber range solution. And just an example beyond security, healthcare. You need to go through medical checks, annual checks without a certain need or problem that you experience, or to go to a prostate examination after a certain age. Now in Bulgaria we don't go because we don't feel like it. We don't feel there is a need, but we don't actually have the demand. This does not mean that the government should not invest in these regular examinations. What it means is that Bulgarians die youngest across the European Union, and the levels of cancer are the highest in Bulgaria. That's my conclusion. We need to work on bridging this gap. Otherwise, the effects are visible.
Positive message. Thanks a lot. Cătălina, how about you?
So, as I mentioned, in ANIS we have a large number of companies, and we have variety from small enterprises, startups in cyber. And what we discuss in our task force, and by the way, for those not being part of ANIS, it's a kind invitation to join ANIS and to be part of this conversation and development of Romanian cyber space. Actually, what we sell, because we all sell, and I do agree with colleagues here, what we sell when it's about cyber, we sell first trust. Of course, we have technology, we have a lot of things, but we sell trust. And for a new company that is just built and have an idea, it's not easy to sell the trust, which as they are at the beginning. And I think this is what we try to do to create this environment where they can talk about their solutions, they can collaborate, they are known by the others, and somehow we share the trust at the level of association, that when somebody is asking about Romanian cybersecurity environment, to find this in our association and to talk with people that are relevant. And it's I'd call, also when we talk about cyber, we talk about a kind of defense. And it's the same there. You need to understand the system. You need to understand what you protect. And it's not an easy entry. Yeah, to create a product for cybersecurity, certainly it's easier than in defense, but it's not as easy as create a solution or a product for a business purpose. So you really need to understand both the business environment, available technologies, and to understand the cybersecurity landscape very much. So it's a lot of work and experience before starting a cyber startup. Therefore, staying together, learning from each other, validating solutions, and innovating together, because I will come to this, what I see very important, and an advice that I always give to new companies in startups is to join different kind of R&D projects. Okay, we talk about ECCC and DNSC funds and collaboration and the consortiums. We talk about many consortiums where they can join, and I think this is very important because they have the chance to work in R&D and to work with big players, with medium players, and to validate their competencies, to validate their solutions. And once you work with somebody, it's easier to work next time because you know the people. And that will be my advice for all people and companies that are thinking to start in cybersecurity.
Thank you, Cătălina. Ovidiu.
So, if I understand correctly, the question is about how to be successful as a startup.
Yeah, what's the obstacle, the main obstacle that you see in the path to success?
Okay. So I will quote a study that says that number one reason for startup failure is they have no more cash to burn. So
great.
I think the first thing would be to have enough money for more than 6 months from the investors. Then what I've seen in my career, it's very important to really solve customer problems, not focus only on the technology. So if the startup really solves a stringent problem of many businesses, organizations, for sure will have good success. And then you mentioned about trust in cybersecurity. It's very important for newcomers to build trust somehow with the customers. And of course, being part of an ecosystem, integrating with the companies that already do cybersecurity. It's an open system. It's a very, very fragmented market, more than 4,000 companies out there, and this keeps growing every month. And partnership. You cannot scale yourself by 2, 3, 10 employees. You need ideally few system integrators that can propose actively your solution and know how to operate it, manage it, support it, things like that. That would be my high-level advices.
Thank you. You touch a number of interesting points, which I want to go back after
Okay.
Andrei. Thanks.
So, obstacles. Obstacles are a lot. They are coming from outside your, let's say, company and from inside your company. First of all is to realize they are there and to find ways to overcome. That's a platitude. Sorry for that. So, I will see in the tech world, in the software industry, especially in cybersecurity industry, one of the obstacles is that, for example, the very technical guys that innovate and build the product from scratch, they are very fond of their baby without thinking of the adoption of that product in the market. So you have to adopt, to test the product and better to fail fast if you are a startup. Not to invest a lot, not to care too much about your technology if it's not something that the market is prepared to adopt. We had this type of lesson learned during the time. For example, we had a product called Bitdefender Box, which was a product, a hardware product for the consumer side. And the technical part is still amazing today. I mean, it was a hit from the perspective of technology. But in the term of the adoption of the product and also for the fact that we are a software company, not a hardware-driven company, and we had to make a product, hardware product, and sell it, it was a little bit too much. So we learned our lesson and opened some parts of our technology. Ovidiu said about partnerships. They are the core base of any kind of software product that you want to release on the market. So we open some parts of our technology, even if they are engines for detection, AI algorithms, or threat intel, or even the box that I said. We have now a partnership with NEGHINA in the United States that incorporate, they are having the hardware, we are giving the software, and it's a huge success. But you have to learn from these obstacles, and in the software industry, that will be the line. Don't be too in love of your technical product, because maybe the market is not, maybe it's too complicated.
Thank you. I'd like to restart from you with another question, then we go backwards, and pick up on what Ovidiu said before about access to capital, or funds, money. So let's take the example of Silicon Valley. Okay, there's the extreme example of a successful cluster. What does this successful, and what can we do different to be more successful? Let's say, is access to capital, is private investor, is the ecosystem, it's the regulatory framework. What it is, in your view, that prevent us to scale? I mean, of course, Bitdefender scale to a very high level, but it's not the case for all the company. What can we, again, copy from that to help our company to scale up?
Well, it's a very complicated question. And
in fact, I ask you briefly because I have a couple of bonus questions. So.
Okay. Usually I get bonuses when I don't want to get them. But, let me think for a bit, because it's
sure. I mean,
it's
a video. Maybe if we can pick up on a video, because you talk about funds, access to. Is this the main driver on the inability to scale up?
Sorry, I think segmentation will be one.
Segmentation,
because you need to not to go too wide.
Okay.
You go to identify your niche, you have to be to measure separate each of the segments that you want to reach on the market.
Thank you.
Honestly, I don't know the answer. I was thinking while you were thinking. Obviously, if we have unlimited amount of money, we've seen companies that actually failed, right?
Yeah.
I read recently a story about the Segway, right?
Yes, yes.
And I didn't know, but the Segway had impressive investors behind them. But they actually misread the market. They thought that Segway will be for everybody. So I think it's not an easy answer to your question. It really depends. It's also a bit of luck in the end, right? It's or Netflix. Netflix, you know how they started. They started to rent videos by mail. But then they adapted because the internet came in, and what we have now, it's a version, I don't know, 15 of many iterations to really find the sweet spot between usability, between but thinking out loud, I believe honestly that the first point is really solve customer problems. Yeah, so there is a real need of your product or service on the market. And second, access to capital in some way or form.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe to add on this, I think we are in a moment that if you ask people, and I think it's true, there are a lot of money in the market, that there is a lot of willingness to invest in cyber. Yeah, so I think that's one thing. On the other side, we have the cyber startups, let's say not too many, and then not too prepared. I think they're not ready to access all this money, because we are talking about technical products, we are talking about some very deep knowledge, not having, let's say, the scale yet, or the understanding how to access this money. And I think this is a gap that we need to cover somehow, and we need to work on it. And one way, okay, we try to bring them, to educate them. One way is also to offer, to have at the country level at least, a playground where they can test solutions. Because again, this is a domain that you don't go to the market so easily, because nobody will give you the entire infrastructure to test your cyber product in, or hopefully there is a decision there, analyzing a little bit when choosing the, and in reality, in some companies, this is happening. You know, you want to work with startups, but you might not be ready to engage them in the real production environment. And therefore, we need to build this at the country level, to have this playground. What we are saying in the past about the industry, and one of our claims, which is still valid today, unfortunately, in Romania, is that we don't have a solid home market. If we look at our startups, if we look at our industry, our companies are growing till a certain level, and then they have to go in other countries to find their market, to scale up. That's the way we scale up startups in this country. And unfortunately, some of them are not only selling in that market, but really moving the IP and moving the headquarters to other markets, and usually it's US, hopefully might be at least in Europe. So I think this is one challenge that we have as a country that we need to solve, to create this home market or playground, or a place in this country where, and this is coming usually from government. Yeah. It's easier to come, or more natural, not necessarily easier, because if it would be easier, it would be here. But it's more natural as a solution to have this kind of playground in in your home market. And this is the way you develop. Look at startups that are growing in other countries. And I'm not talking about US, which is a special case. Let's look in Europe. Let's look at startups in France, startups in different countries, how they are supported by the local governmental infrastructure to grow. And there are many ways to do this.
Thank you, Cătălina. Yes.
Maybe it's a cultural thing, maybe it's short-sightedness. The good news, if it's short-sightedness, you have glasses obviously and you can fix it. And when you build a product, such a glass that can help you look further into the future is foresight. And all the professionals in the room know very well the importance of cybersecurity foresight. A recipe for success, what they're doing in China. There are private entities building colleges across China for futurism, for studying the future sciences, predicting scenarios of more recent and more future scenarios further ahead in time. And these people, some of them, they study this simply because they want to become science fiction writers. Some of them because they want to build solutions for 100 years ahead. This is not, that's why I think it's not about culture, because, for example, this was being done by Rand Corporation in the 50s. The people who built cybersecurity as science in the state, they were doing foresight, looking into scenarios after, let's say, a nuclear war and potential loss of the United States in the Cold War. And I believe we can do more. I believe we can exercise, do tabletop exercises to help us build our products, looking 10, 20, 50, 100 years ahead in time. And yes, this will lead to products that are not very marketable because they're not really, it's not their time. But at the end of the day, I'm going back to what I said earlier. This is a social enterprise. We're in the business of helping society evolve. And every idea, even though it's not its right time, might be useful for us as a society. I was working on self-sovereign identity in 2015 as a doctoral research. My startup then failed drastically because there was no need of self-sovereign digital identity wallets. And surprise, surprise, a few years later, the Commission is building the EU ID wallet.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a very short time, but I'd like to go two very, very quick questions. So be very telegraphic. The first question is on the title, impact. How do you measure impact in what you do? Really, really a sentence. Maybe we can start with you, Hristian.
For us, it's easy. Everyone in the room, as long as he has a corporate entity or represented institution, can go at the Digital Innovation Hubs Network website and request free services for up to €200,000 for advanced technology support by hubs such as ours. And we are being measured by the number of entities that we serve and basically by the number of state aid that we distribute through our services. If you do not have this particular KPI, of course, you can try to turn qualitative KPIs into quantitative, but this is another story.
Thank you, very, very good, thanks. Cătălina.
So, representing ANIS, it's so simple about the size of software and services industry in Romania, which is one of the biggest growing sectors here, and having 9% of the GDP. I think it's a good KPI to keep on going.
Very nice. You?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
How do you
the question.
measure impact? You say we talk about impact in our in the activity that we do. What's the measurement that you use to define I have a positive impact?
Of a cybersecurity solution?
Yeah, on the work that you do, on your organization.
Okay, in my case, being in sales, if I grow,
the sales, okay, the bottom line, that's clear.
Growth year over year, that's my number one.
Very good.
And
clear.
I think yours also.
Radu? Sorry, Andrei.
Yeah,
I know the same for you, but okay, just.
Yeah, I agree with Ovidiu. Growth year over year, of course, but also in sales, I can say renewals, because there is about trust, there is about trusting your product, your company, and if the clients are happy to renew with your product, of course, it's one of the measures of the impact. But also, I can say the impact is when the whole industry recognizes you as one of the innovators in the domain.
Very good. Okay, last question. We go the other way, so I finish. Okay. So maybe the last is, let's finish with a positive note. What advice would you give to an entrepreneur here? How to be, what do you think would be the first things to do?
I can do that. I'm very good at giving advices. I never follow them. Start locally. That's one key point. So start locally, make a pilot. Don't go huge. Move fast. Build smart.
Break things. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was move fast, break things is someone else. You cannot use that. Ovidiu.
The team, I think the team is very important. If you have the right people with good relationship and very courageous to think out of the box, that make a lot of difference. And you love what you do. I mean, if you work with the right people, you will be in a good place to innovate.
Thank you.
So I can only say join ANIS. It's the place where people that are working in this industry are growing together, sharing experience and getting better the entire world.
You see a lot of startups, so you can...
Yeah. Find partnerships. We're living in the era of open data, open communities. For example, we were thinking for large amount of time that in Bulgaria we do not have a cybersecurity testing laboratory that you can go and test your services, that can provide GRC services, governance, risk compliance. You need to go to highly paid consultants for this purpose. So we were thinking how to kickstart this as a product or a side project. And then come a call from the ECCC about supporting entrepreneurs be compliant with the new Cyber Resilience Act. So everyone who has a digital product needs to comply. And we found this as the great opportunity to join a consortium and to build a service that will help these entrepreneurs. We will deliver it with many other entities, and in a way we would be competing with them, but the platform would be there. It will be open source, and the companies that will use our services or the services of some of our partners from the consortium, they will decide whose services to use depending on the expertise. The product would be there for everyone to share, or the companies to use by themselves. And you're in the business not of competing with the other partners in the consortium, you're in the business of outshining and proving your expertise. So many open source models, you just need to be proactive and think out of the box, not the competitor as such, but more of an entity that can be your partner.
Thank you, Hristian. So I promise you a very engaging panel. I think you really made it. Has been very interesting. I really enjoyed to hear what your ideas, your suggestions. I think they deserve a big round of applause. So please, Hristian, Cătălina, Ovidiu, Andrei, thank you very much.